Welcome to Team Rocket Garage. My name is Zach, and that is my 1977 Toyota Celica with some obvious modifications. First off is this, a Supra rear end. That's right, independent rear suspension and Honda Civic shocks in the back. And coming up to the front end here, we've got independent double wishbone suspension from a Supra, 5-lug and disc brakes front and rear, by the way. To get this car to roll around, we've got to use these Mach 1 wheels because they're just what I had laying around. And yes, we're continuing the Supra trend in here. A 2JZ from an IS300 because VVTI, and then we can have the bottom end built for about the same cost as a Supra motor in the first place and then make more horsepower. So today, what are we doing with this? Well, it might look like a pretty solid little rolling car here, but let me show you something.
We're facing an uphill battle here. We don't have a steering rack, so these wheels can turn inwards on both sides, and that's either called pigeon toeing or ooh-woo. And I'm not down for that, so we gotta go ahead and throw a steering rack in this. We gotta figure out some suspension stuff. And make sure you put gloves on because greasy stuff is greasy.
So let me show you what we're working with. This is a tight little spot here with this new cross member going right through the middle, but hey. This is where the steering rack is supposed to go into, so we're off by, I don't know, 2/3 of an inch. And over here, we've got this part of the steering rack, which is slightly in the way. We'll take this off, test fit it otherwise, and then we can build around it kind of right here with like a small indent maybe going like that way. That is nice though, just because the steering will be seriously tucked out of the way with it being right there, so that's a good thing. Alright, so that clearly needs a bearing or something in there. We have a shaft come out to here, and then it can shoot out and then down, and then it'll go in and over. We're almost clear over here. I mean, this is just a matter of like pushing on this with my thumb and it clears.
I removed a small bracket from the steering rack, and that allowed me to actually mount the steering rack in place, even though it was a little close to the frame for comfort. We'll work on that next.
Here needs to go kind of around like that, like an S shape.
One of the more difficult parts about this whole frame and steering rack location is just simply that I have to connect the steering rack to the steering column, and neither of these were designed with each other in mind. So looking at the frame, we're actually going to have to cut out and make some room for a steering shaft to go through it or around it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. But first, I think it's time for me to go get a haircut. So it's going to be a lot faster for you guys, but by the way, it's like 80 degrees today. Phenomenal.
F***ing spectacular.
All right. Now we gotta find out. Let's see. So we got camera strap for Ashley, and then two steering parts. So, damn, these suckers are big. Holy cow. So this one is 2 double Ds, so not too shabby. That's our kind of custom application one. And then this guy should be our, I guess we open it differently than the other one, huh? Yeah. So this one's supposed to be the correct shaft for the Toyota 36 spline, I guess it is. Let's see here. Is the issue is that is where it's supposed to go, and there's car in the way. I disconnected the bolts on the steering rack and slid it just a little bit over so I could throw some WD-40 on there, clean up the splines, and check the fitment. yeah, about 700-800 in there. So we'll just let it cool down nice and slow. That way you don't have to worry about any sort of cracking. That's a pretty hefty, thick piece of metal there, but I'm confident that we got it pretty good in there. Yeah, so we'll be able to cut the end of this off after it cools down, and then we can bolt it to the steering shaft and then build, you know, an intermediate shaft. If we only use 2 joints, then we shouldn't need any sort of carrier in the middle, which would be mucho delicioso. All right, this is what I've come up with. Now, not the final product, kind of ugly, but structurally sound, and we'll be able to wrap over this with some sheet metal, make it look really smooth and Gucci, and then we'll back it with another plate right there. We just have to be able to test fit this, and I don't want to do a full install and then have to cut stuff out that I fabricated in. Just saves you time. And we're gonna go ahead and grab the steering rack, put it in here. We're gonna connect it to the steering wheel and then find some nuts and bolts for the wheels over here. Hopefully, we're gonna have us a freaking steering car. All right, so we've got our steering shaft here with our splined bottom. So we'll just collapse it. And then this is actually upside down. There we go. Tight. Tight. Okay. Bring her down slow. Oh, honestly, just bring her down. I'm now realizing that the wheels are turned that way and the steering wheel is going to be straight, but that's okay. All right. Cool. If you will hold that. Oh, I'm binding on something. Oh, jeez. What am I hitting? Am I hitting the frame? Hit it? Yep. All right. Well, that's not a huge problem to overcome. Just some trimming. Cool. But that is a car with a steering wheel, and it would, in theory, steer itself while moving. Scary, but successful.